Hello, my name's Saeed and welcome to Phasma. So once you've joined Phasma Discord, all you need to do is activate your key, and you can do this by going to the activate channel and then using the following command to DM the Phasma dashboard. Once you've done this, I recommend you go to the updates channel and download the latest version of the bot. Once you've downloaded the exe file, drag it into a folder. I've just happened to have named Phasma, and then open it. And then wait for it to download packages. Once it's downloaded, it'll request for you to input your key, at which point you need to input the same key you used to activate your Discord. Once you've inserted your key and hit enter, the application will tell you to restart the bot. At this point, you need to close the bot and then reopen it again. At this point, it will validate your key, and then it will give you a number of options. To begin, I recommend you create a profile by hitting number 4. Create a profile name. This can be absolutely any name, but make sure it's memorable and easy to write down, as you'll need to refer to it later again. Then you start inputting your actual details. At this point, it will request for you to insert credentials for certain websites. Make sure that you've already made accounts on these websites before inputting these details, as they need to be real. Once you've completed all the fields, it will say successfully created a profile, and it will once again tell you your profile name. You can continue to make another profile if you want, or we can go on to make a task, which is what I'm going to do now. So once you've closed Phasma, we can start thinking about making tasks. So how do we make tasks in Phasma? So firstly, I recommend you go into the guides channel and open up this Google document here. I've already got it open. And I recommend you use it on one half of your screen, and then on the other half, I recommend you open the tasks.csv file. So you can open this with a number of different programs. You can use Excel, you can use Google Sheets, or you can use Ron CSV Editor. I'm just going to use Excel for the purpose of this demonstration. So once you've got your guide open and you've got the CSV open at the same time, you'll be able to easily negotiate between the two. So first thing you need to familiarise yourself with is the sites available on Phasma. So this is the site list at the moment. This will be updated over time, and this is the site ID. This is the payment method for this site, and this is the type of task you can run with this specific site. So different sites will enable you to use different types of tasks. Some will be SKU only, some will be URL only, and some will be a mixture of URL and keywords. Some sites will only allow you to pay by PayPal according to the bot, and some sites will enable you to check out in different methods. So to begin with, I'm just going to use the example of JD Sports UK, and we're going to use this exact same format which is in the first line of this CSV file. So it's important to remember that this first line isn't an actual task line. This is sort of like a header or a title as such. So I'm just going to copy it and then paste it. And so number 2 in our CSV will be task number 1. So what we need to do for the first part is store. I need to change this to the store ID. So JD Sports UK, the store ID is JD UK. So that's what I'm going to input here. I also know that it's SKU mode only. So here I'm going to replace this with an SKU. I'm just going to make one up in my head. I don't actually know if this exists or not. For the size, you can choose any size in like a numerical format. So for example, if I wanted a size 8, I'll type in 8. But if I'm not bothered about the size, I'll just go for random. You can then select your profile, and if you remember correctly earlier, I used the profile name test. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to input test here, and that will refer to the profile of test when the task is running. Payment method. The only payment method available in Phasma for JD Sports UK is PayPal. So I'm just going to insert PayPal here. At this point you can save, and that will have created your first task. I'm going to make another task just to show you how to format it, but it's really straightforward. Once again, just copy and paste, and then this time we're going to go for the hip store. So the store ID is the hip store. It's SKU only, so once again I'm going to just input a random SKU. The size, this time I want to go for a size 7. I'm going to use the same profile, and once again the hip store is PayPal only. So here I've got 2 tasks that I've now created, and I'm going to save them. At this point you can now exit this file and you can reopen Phasma. So now what you'll want to do is you'll want to create a way to easily access PayPal when you're trying to check out with the bot. So to do this, Phasma has a built-in feature which is sort of like an auto logger, which will enable you to be logged into PayPal rapidly when you're trying to check out with the bot. So if you use option 5, it will say log into PayPal. You then need to open up your firewall to private networks, and then you need to log into PayPal. What this will do is it will store a cookie which will enable the bot to log in for you as soon as the checkout phase is initiated. This is a lot quicker than trying to manually log in yourself during checkout. So when running the bot, you'll typically want to use proxies to reduce the risk of your IP getting banned. So how do you input proxies? So if you go into the installation folder where you installed Phasma initially, you'll be able to see the proxies file, which is the .txt document. If you just open this, you'll have a blank notepad document, and all you need to do is input your proxies one line at a time. So the formats which are acceptable in Phasma are the 3 listed in the guide. These are the most commonly used formats anyway for most proxy providers, and I'll be very surprised if you were ever provided proxies which were in a different format to these. So as an example, I'm just going to input 3 there, and this would be 3 different proxies. So if I have 3 lines, that's 3 proxies, and so on and so forth. At this point, you can just save, and that will save your proxies. So you've made your profiles, you've made your tasks, you've inserted your proxies, and you've auto-logged into PayPal. What next? How do you start your tasks? So all you need to do is open Phasma, and the start task buttons are 1 and 2. So number 1 is start all tasks, which is pretty self-explanatory, and start 2 is start website tasks. Type number 2 will allow you to select specific website tasks to start. So for example, if you want to start all your JD Sport tasks, but you don't want to start your Hip Store tasks, then you would want to use option 2. So let's do that now. So if I want to use the Hip Store, then it will tell me that the ID of this website is 2. I have 1 task running the Hip Store, and the website name is the Hip Store. So if I want to run Hip Store tasks, type 2 and then hit enter, and that will run the Hip Store task. Exactly the same if I wanted to run JD UK, I'll just hit number 1 and hit enter. Finally, if you want to change the config.json, which will enable you to add to-capture, anti-capture, Discord webhooks, all you need to do is enter option 3, and then you'll be able to enter your key, and then you'll be able to enter a number of other fields. So for example, your error delay, which is in seconds. So for example, if I want to do a 2-second error delay, I'll just input number 2. If I want to do 3-second error delay, number 3, etc. So you can then input your Discord webhook, your to-capture API key, your anti-capture API key, and then that's all done. Once you've done this, ensure you restart Phasma AIO to ensure that changes have taken place. And finally, for specific release information, we recommend you check out the release guides channel, which will be updated regularly before a drop. If you have any more concerns or queries, feel free to open a support ticket in the support ticket channel just by hitting the envelope button here, and then all staff will be able to view your messages.